All right, good morning, everybody. So looking at our trade plan from yesterday, it is still pretty much the same for this morning. We are hanging out around that 505 level, so staying below that, we are retracing that value low, and then right back to that overlapping value where that gap is, that rollover gap. If we stay above that 505, then we are breaking out into 31 and possibly 59 to 60 as well. You have a little bit of a micro pullback today. It's kind of a D shape hanging out around that POC node of yesterday. The same as always with the micro pullbacks, we are looking for those rotations until we see a very clear value breakout. Right now, we are looking for that downward rotation. If it loses that POC, you're trying to rotate back down to that 58. So it's still kind of bearish, but if they refuse to rotate on the open, then you have a slight bullish bias because it's failing to rotate, right? So keep an eye on that rotation. Same levels on NASDAQ. Value high of yesterday. Hold above that. You look for the value breakout, 281.510. Below that, you're retracing back down to the gap around 700 and then 347. $347 is a little low. We could probably just raise that to 609. And then everything else is the same. Keep it on VWAP. We are opening right on VWAP. So far, rejecting VWAP right there at 501 and 72. You did have a bull div there, like I always talk about with the bull divs. You always target the trail. Your trail target has been hit. Looks like you're trying to waterfall, breaking those trails, but you are stopping on that 5-minute for now. 15-minute goes to 506. 30-minute goes to actually 500. We're holding on to the 30-minute. 30-minute trail has been holding us up since Friday. There's the break of the 5-minute trail. So 15-minute trail is actually, there it is already. So you're hitting that 506. You're already above the 30 and you're already above the 1 hour. So that waterfall is over. Still keeping on VWAP. You're still kind of struggling around it. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Future Patriot, Andreas AT, Banana, Luis, Scott, Scott D, Leo, Stephen, eBay. Good morning, Mick, Roman, Blood, Larry, Lumir, Abby. Good morning, Greg. Good morning, Adam. Good morning, Ray, Christian. Good morning, West, Stream, Lulu, Julio, Anthony. Good morning, Orion. Good morning, Ike. Good morning, Joan. Morris, Ollie, Music, Kirito, Mark, and Joseph. Appreciate you guys being here. Good morning, guys. Little 1-minute pivot there. Failing the 5-minute trail. Failing the 15, damn near to the tick as well. Keep it on that 507 level. If they can't stay above that, it's pretty weak. Good morning, Suzanne, Devil, Crown. Good morning, Sam. Very strong delta on NASDAQ here. Not as strong on ES. Keep an eye on that 15-minute trail. They keep struggling on that 507. You're kind of sitting on that 30-minute trail, which we have not lost since Friday. Normally, ES and NASDAQ are for the most part following each other. At least, like, direction-wise. They're not always the same, like, candle by candle, but direction, they're normally the same. Yes, today we have 9:45 and 10 o'clock data. Zero prints are pretty rare, wild. Zero prints are not extremely common in like the candles. They typically get filled in as well. There's only one zero print on my entire chart right now, and it's right there around 98, and that got filled in. Can I check CVD? CVD is always on the chart. It's on the chart 24/7. There's one right here, and there's one right here. Ike, if you use Forex Factory, which that's what I use for my calendar and all the data, every single data print has a little calendar or like a little, a little folder next to it. Just click that folder. It tells you what it is, why the traders care about it, what the market should do. So just press that little folder, basically. I use forexfactory.com/calendar. And I have it set to only USD. I turn off everything else. Completely free, by the way. And for a free site, they actually update their data very quickly. Like, they normally update within a minute or so, less than a minute. Getting a little bit exhausted up here. They're not finding a ton of delta above that 507. Now, this is what I talked about with the trade plan, how we were in a very large downward rotation of yesterday. And obviously, they're finding a lot of buy pressure on the open here. So they are fighting that rotation. There's that exhaustion pulling you back. Keep an eye on those EMAs. That 24 is being respected here. So the aggressive traders are not the strongest right now, but the passive traders buying the pullbacks, buying the EMAs, they're still doing pretty good. That data was 56.7 over 55.7. Not very impactful. 10 o'clock should have some more impact. Looks like the same old, same old. Smaller sectors are red. The semis are going up. The conductors. Manufacturing's been doing pretty good recently. I think they had a lot of good numbers. We basically hit our 281 target on NASDAQ, so keep an eye on a breakout to 510 if it does continue. You still have that bullish bias on that micro pullback because obviously it's on the high, not on the low. Still struggling on that 15-minute trail. You're trying to get above that 507. You want a Viking? Big spike there. Possibly a headline. There's a big block trade, 1,300 contracts at 512. Either a headline or just a really big block trade. I don't see anything. I see some headlines from Iran. I think that's about it. There's our first target on NASDAQ. ES looking for 531. Pretty close. Let's see how these ridiculous companies are doing, these semiconductors. Still holding those higher lows on the ETF. AMD pushing the high. Intel close to pushing the high. Micron pretty close. They're all like the same exact pattern. Except for QCOM and AVGO. They're actually in a deep correction here. This ETF pretty much sums up the semiconductors. They all look like this. Pretty aggressive highs and putting in higher lows. Doing a pretty good job building value. Bubble has not popped just yet, is the long story short of that. By the way, I don't see any major headline for that block trade. I think it was just a block trade. 1,300 contracts out of nowhere. Could be front running the 10 o'clock data. 10 o'clock data coming out in a few minutes here. Good morning, Philip. One more minute until that data comes out. Oh, I never deleted these FOMC levels, so funny enough, we are getting back into that FOMC. 31 and 91. Pretty aggressive candle here. You exploded after that block trade, and now they're starting to build a little bit of value. Keep an eye on that 31 target, which I think lines up, yeah, lines up perfectly with the FOMC level. $50-minute trail completely taken out. 30-minute trail is being respected, and so is the 1 hour. So very bullish so far. Right at the open, there was a bull dip on the 1 minute, and you flipped the trail. We have stayed above the trail ever since, so trend is okay here. Okay, 10 o'clock data so far being taken bearishly. Let me see where it came out. 91.2 over 94.4 for confidence. Job openings 7.59 over 7.28. So it seems like that JOLTS number still being cooked. That's one of those numbers that, like, what's his name was talking about, the new Fed chair, talking about changing how we gather data. That's one of the numbers they definitely need to change. That number's been cooked for so many years. It became very noticeable around COVID. Like COVID and after, that number is just insanely unreliable. Especially right now when the job market is really rough. And you have the job openings number beating expectations by like 300,000, right? Goalpost manipulation, yeah, basically. Here's that 31 target. So our first target on both ES and NASDAQ have been achieved. Second target is 60 on ES. Second target is 510 on NQ. Is it okay to analyze Qs instead of NASDAQ? It is if you're trading it. Like if you're trading Qs and not trading NASDAQ, I think it's fine. But I think if you're trading NASDAQ itself, like if you're trading the futures, then you should be analyzing that. You typically want to analyze what you are trading, except the only exception I would say is if you're trading the micros, like the MES, MNQ, I would still analyze the larger contract. The larger contract just has way more participation, way more volume. It's a lot more institutional, not as much on the retail side. So I would always chart and analyze what you're trading, unless it's the micros, then just do the big contract. And that goes for like if you guys are stock trading, if you are trading like those leveraged ETFs, like the 2x, 3x, whatever it is, you're not doing your analysis mostly on that leveraged ETF. You're doing the analysis on what it is based on, right? Is it based on oil? Is it based on SPY, Qs, whatever, right? By the way, today is the last day of the month, so be careful. Last day of the month and quarter, actually. Typically, the last day of the month and quarter, they get a lot of just kind of weird price action, kind of unpredictable things happening. Keep an eye on these 24s. You are pulling back to that passive level. Lose that, you're going back to VWAP. You had a very small bear div on the high here. But it was mostly the data pulling you back. But same as we always talk about, there's a bear div. You always target the trail. Trail has been hit. So now you're going into a waterfall. 5-minute trail is really far away, so if you wanted to, you could use the 3-minute trail. 3-minute trail is 511. 07 for the 5-minute. Yeah, sweeping a pivot, and you have a little bit of a bear div here. Failed that FOMC low, which was a value level as well. But perfectly failing that 31. See how this candle reacts, because we keep getting these candles, especially in the afternoon, where you have like a doji. The bottom half has a ton of bearish delta, but it kind of gets stuck. It gets absorbed, goes back up. We'll see if they can actually stay below that. You missed a few months ago in the oil. Yeah, the oil correlation was just so easy. You could just watch oil and then it would help you trade. There's not really any significant correlations right now, except for just the obvious, like, semiconductors, right? But like the dollar, oil, gold, all that stuff, you don't really have like a massive correlation. You want to go? Yeah, it's pretty much just one sector pushing the market. It's just semiconductors and the DRAM. The DRAM, like, supply shortage has been going on for so long, it makes you wonder, like, is it actually a supply shortage, or are they just kind of, like, price gouging, right? But it's hard to say it's not a supply shortage when you have these data centers just constantly popping up and just buying up all the DRAM. So the demand is clearly there. Like, the demand is very, very high. But you would think after, like, what, a year or two, they would get better at ramping up the supply, but who knows? Probably a little bit of both, yeah. Obviously, they can't just, like, build new factories in a couple of months, so I understand that it's a very slow process of fixing the supply problem. That's why these supply chain moves are always so explosive on the stock market. because it's just so slow to fix. It's very hard to fix. You are seeing that pattern where the bottom half of the candles is kind of getting absorbed. Said jolts are bearish for the market. It stopped, or bearish for ES to stop the market. Well, not yet. We haven't seen it just yet. So far, those sellers are getting stuck. They're not doing anything. This is a very common pattern we see in the afternoon where you have like one strong candle, then like the rest of the day you have these like half candles that get absorbed on the bottom. The bottom half of them, I mean. Still holding that 1 minute trail here. Dollar's not reacting too much to that 10 o'clock data. It's actually going down quite a bit. So if the dollar correlation was actually active right now, that data would actually be pretty damn bullish because our dollar is coming down. Yeah, this is just that same exact pattern. Starts out as a little doji, sellers try to push it back down, taking back that big candle. They get absorbed and exhausted, so like they start out being absorbed, and then it like pushes down, gets exhausted, comes back. If you guys are in the Discord, this happens like damn near every day. Like the afternoon, you see these candles all the time. Staying above that 1 minute trail. A little bit of an exaggerated bull div there. Very flat, but momentum was very obviously going up. No, I never scale into positions. It's called pyramiding. I don't pyramid. Today there weren't really like any massive like high strike rate patterns happening. It was pretty much the same exact pattern we actually talked about yesterday. Started out as a bull div, turned into a waterfall, and you just started trending up. You just had that waterfall back up. So you were pushing down. It had a bull div on the open. Like we talked about on the trade plan, we had to see if it wanted to rotate back down because you were selling into the open. It was trying to rotate back down, but the buyers came in. So this is a failure to rotate. So failure to rotate, and then you shoot back up. So started out as a bull div. Trail target got hit on the 1 minute pretty much instantly. Then the 5 minute got hit a few minutes after. Then the 15 minute got hit. 30 minute was already green, and then the 1 hour was already green. So now we're just very bullish. When that happens, by the way, guys, when you have like 1 minute, 5 minute, 15, all red, they're all red trails. And then 30 minute, 1 hour green trails. What is happening is a trap. The 30 minute is trapping. So like if these short-term trails are red, and then that turns into, they start waterfalling into green trails following the higher time frames, it's just telling you that these higher time frames were trapping. They were green the whole time. That short-term sell pressure flipped back into being bullish, which it did right here. Basically confirming that this little move here on the 1 minute is trapping on the higher time frames. Come on, Faraj. The indicators I was just going over, those are the ones that I made. The bottom one's the Momo, the one on the top is the trading suite. This trend is very bullish. They're doing a great job protecting the lower portion of the candles, the lower value. We're going to have to extend our targets here pretty damn soon. $5.10 target coming up on NASDAQ and $5.59 on ES. A very stable trend here. Just keep an eye on that ADMA, and then if it loses that, you just have that waterfall effect on those trails. No bear dibs right now, no rollover top, nothing like that. You are a little extended. 15 minutes a little extended outside the kind of fair value. A little bit of a bear div possibly on the 15. if it kind of tops out like right now. If it does start coming down, just keep it on that single print. They left open one single print, back down to 29. Okay, here's that trail. So if it loses this, you're kind of turning into a bit of a sweep here. That 5-minute trail's back down to 18. Good morning, Angelo. A little bit of a sweep up here. Not finding a lot of sell pressure on the bottom, though. You're losing that 1 minute trail, so starting a bit of a waterfall here. Rollover top, not exactly. It's more so just like a rollover in momentum. It doesn't have like that clear sweeping pattern. It's more just like chop. The most important thing about a rollover top is like a very clear sweep, and then it kind of puts in a lower high after the sweep. This is just kind of like a rollover in momentum. Good morning, Olive. Hey, stream, no problem, man. I'm glad it helps. Yeah, trades. I think that series is probably the best one I've put out, to be honest. I was saying that it's gonna be hard to put out another series this year, which I probably won't even do this year, unless I think it's something to do like late in the year. Because that one was just so thorough and it covered pretty much everything I want to cover, and all that stuff is still very fresh. I typically do like one series every year, like one kind of 3 to 5 part series. But yeah, probably not going to do one this year. Maybe we'll see, because that one is just good enough for right now. Really hard to replace the Apex series, especially the volume profile video. That's probably my most like thought out. Just kind of covers everything. It's like a masterclass on all the things that I teach on volume profile, kind of in one video. Keep an eye on VWAP. Back to 520. We lost that 1 minute trail. We are testing the 3 minute right now, and then 5 minute is right below that at 20. Yeah, I don't see those Apex videos, that series, um, dying anytime soon. Like information wise, I mean, that's all stuff that I've been using for like 10 years. Like, it's not like any of that stuff is going anywhere for the most part. The indicator stuff that we taught on those videos, we've been using for damn near 10 years. The volume profile stuff, 10 years. The order flow stuff, a little bit newer. I'd say the order flow stuff, probably like 5 years or so, 5, 6 years. Candlestick stuff, that's like decades old. Market structure, decades old. Yeah, like I said, probably not going to be a series this year. Maybe I'll make like a one video follow up on that series. Keep it on VWAP around 300 and then 520. Turning into a little bit of a downtrend here on the 1 minute, losing those EMAs. Here's that POC and back into that lower absorption around that like 520. No, there's no DOM on my charts. I don't have level 2. I have a DOM for like level 1. That's about it. These two are for level 1 here. I don't think DOM is completely necessary. Both of these are VWAPs. I use both of them. The dotted and the solid. Here's that VWAP at 520. Okay, waterfall is down to the 5 minute. Here's the 5 minute trail. And here's where that delta got exhausted earlier. If they can stay below 15, looking pretty weak. Back down to the open. A little bit of a bull div here. Trying to bounce off VWAP. Not exactly putting in that exact pattern. Just kind of losing momentum on the sell side. Not getting a lot of buy pressure off this VWAP. You can't even get back above that 80 MA. Still trying to hold on to VWAP here. Not seeing too much buy pressure off of that VWAP. Need to get a little bit more. Okay, definitely seeing the buyers off VWAP now. Bouncing off that trail in the 5-minute. Giving you a little bit of a trap. There's that bull div. So bull div got a little bit stronger. Bouncing into that 1-minute trail. And then there's no waterfall here because you're already green on the 5 and the 3. This is exactly what I just said earlier about the higher time frames, showing you that trap. You had one on the 1-minute, so like the 1-minute flipped red, short-term sell pressure, but you never flipped the 5-minute, so that's just confirming that this is a trap here. You really just needed more buy pressure off VWAP. It struggled a little bit. And then you finally got some around like 23. You started seeing that buy pressure come in right here. 23, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Sweeping VWAP on NASDAQ as well. Same exact thing I talked about earlier. You have that lower half of that candle being absorbed and exhausted. And then you have retest, bounce. Buyers still pretty weak on the aggressive side. We're still seeing the same thing we talked about earlier about how the buyers are very responsive. They're buying the pullbacks, the EMAs, the VWAPs. They're not really buying the breakouts too much. So earlier we said it was a little extended on the 15. Did they fix that? They did. Okay. It was a little extended on the 15. It was outside that kind of fair value. And we just repaired that. So we're okay. We're okay on that now. We will have to extend our targets pretty soon if it does continue to the upside. Looking for that 59. Semiconductor's still doing pretty good. Manufacturing doing really good. 6% for manufacturing is pretty high. AMAT, LRCX. Yeah, look at AMAT. Wow. You don't typically see charts like that on manufacturing companies. That's kind of crazy. These are typically a lot slower. It's moving like a semiconductor. Yeah, look at these. Wow. What a sector. That is actually crazy. 150% on a manufacturing company. That was manufacturing, the top two manufacturing companies. Yeah, in that short, I should have said what it was. I'm pretty sure I said it was a delta chart. It was a 500 delta chart. You can use other delta charts like 1000, 200. Doesn't really matter. The number doesn't matter. It's just a delta chart. It's just looking at delta candles instead of like price candles or volume candles. Just another way of looking at it. Like for example, we were backtesting VWAP there and we couldn't really see a lot of buy pressure, but then you started to see it come in on the delta. A lot of buyers around like 23. If you're not good at reading the tape, you can kind of read the delta coming in on the actual candles instead. These ones? Or, oh, you mean on this chart? That is volume and then time, yep. Like that bounce off VWAP took about 6 minutes, which was pretty long for a delta candle. No, I don't stream from open to close unless you're in Discord. On the YouTube stream, it's from 9:30 to 11:30. Discord is until the close. How long have I been trading? This September will be 12 years, I think. It's somewhere around 12. I've been full-time since like 2016, 2017. We're seeing the exact same thing I said earlier. You're just seeing incredible buy pressure from the pullbacks, the responsive buyers, the EMA guys, the VWAP guys, the 30-minute lows, all the responsive levels. But the aggressive traders, not so much. They're getting a little bit weak as they push the highs. So keep an eye on these highs up here. We'll see if they can actually find some value. A couple of reminders before I forget. Today is the last day of the month. So today is the last day you guys can send me any receipts you had for June. If you guys used code BREW on Apex, I believe it's still 90% off. So if you buy any today, make sure to send those to me by the end of today or tomorrow. Tomorrow's probably the last day. Just make sure I can see the account size, like how big the account is that you purchased, the date you purchased it, and the receipt number. Just put them all into one email and send them to that email I posted in chat. I'll get you guys added to that raffle, and we're going to do a raffle for the Discord access. Yeah, Joseph, have a good day, man. Other reminder is for Addis. If you guys want to get 10% off, you can use code BREW10 on Addis. That's good until another, I think, a week or so. It should say on the website, they're 45-minute sessions, typically Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Right now, I don't do Tuesdays or Fridays. There are 2 sessions available after market close on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Danny, I would recommend watching my Apex series, the Becoming an Apex Trader, because I go through step by step how to go from what you're talking about, like how to go from price action. You start with candlesticks, market structure, that type of stuff, and then you slowly transition into like volume profile and order flow. It's kind of like a step by step process because it's like a pyramid. You have to learn the bottom layer to get to the top layer, right? So that's how I recommend doing it. Price action, market structure, indicators, volume profile, order flow. If you jump to order flow and you don't understand like market structure and volume profile, you're not going to know what the hell you're looking at. If you jump to volume profile and you don't understand market structure, you're not going to know what you're looking at, right? Your country banned Apex. Apex banned your country. Yeah, so it's not Apex doing that. It's the SEC and like FINRA, the regulators in the U.S. They have a list of countries that prop firms cannot do business with. So pretty much all the prop firms that are in the U.S. they have to follow that regulation. So those countries are all the same. This just shows a very fast version of this. So this one is filtered. The tape is filtered. This one is not filtered. So it's just showing a very fast version of it. It's like playing hockey and not knowing how to skate. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You got to get the fundamentals down. Yeah, I think it's a big problem with streams like mine and just other like trading content. Um, People see like what we're doing with like my million charts, and I've got 5 monitors. You know what I mean? Like we got so many screens and things we're looking at. So when new traders like jump in, they see what we're doing. They're just like, "Oh, I want to do that," and they just try to copy it right away. But if you don't take the time to kind of do it step by step, it's very confusing. Doing a good job holding on to that 24 here, so we are still in that uptrend. And they do keep pulling back to the 24. Like I said earlier, it's very passive. They're getting a lot of passive buyers. How do I manage to trade if I buy a pullback to VWAP? I would just watch my shorts. VWAP is probably genuinely the most covered thing on my entire channel. I have numerous videos on the VWAP trades and how to trade them and how to do the stops and the targets. There's a bunch of different variations and variables that go into it. You can't trade the same on like every trade or every even the same setup, right? Even the same setup, you got to trade differently based on how it's happening. Yeah, VWAP is very extensively covered on my channel. Probably it's up there with volume profile. They're probably the most covered things on the channel. Hey, Abby, have a good day. But yeah, speaking of VWAP targets, the target's right here. So you always target the prior high. On a bull flag in the VWAP, on a bear flag in the VWAP, you target the prior low. So here is that prior high. So VWAP target is hit if you guys were taking that trade. 30-minute lows being protected, trails being protected, EMAs being protected. Very solid trend today. It's just very passive. It's not super aggressive. The solid one is the cash one. Yep. The dotted one is the session one. The dotted one is always the longer one. Hey, Stronger, have a good day, man. We'll see you tomorrow. And here's that VWAP target, like I was saying, prior high. It's a pretty big move, too. It's about a 20-point move. 30-minute lows being protected. It's just screen time, man. It's just screen time and experience. You just got to keep working at it. It is a very, very difficult career, very difficult thing to do. But it is achievable, right? It's not impossible. It's very hard, but not impossible. It really mostly just comes down to taking accountability and having the discipline to fix your problems. I was trying to see if I could turn on the labels because you guys always ask about the VWAPs, but it won't let me label them. The daily is the solid, the session is the dotted. I'm surprised Addis doesn't have that. Labeling the value on the axis. Maybe it's like a chart setting. Yeah, it's where I was looking. I don't think that's right. Oh, I guess it could be here. Labels color, background color. No, it doesn't change anything. Label, yeah. It's only the one I was looking at, the background and the color. That's not a big deal. I think once you guys use VWAP for like literally a day or two, you know where the VWAPs are on my chart. They're very obvious VWAPs. The bid ask and delta charts are nearly identical. I think the delta just better shows what I'm trying to do. The information is just a little bit closer to what I'm looking for. we're seeing the same problem that I talked about earlier about it is not as aggressive. It's more passive. The aggressive buyers are really struggling on the highs. But when you pull back to like VWAP, they come in pretty quickly. No, the 350 imbalance is not usually, no. Unless I'm like already in a trade and it's just being closed. Trading the imbalance itself is really just a coin flip. But all right, guys, we are coming to the end of the stream here. I'm gonna do a couple of reminders, and we actually have a giveaway today. So I was gonna do an Apex account giveaway, but thanks to Scott, one of the many Scotts in chat, he bought a Addis account with the code, which by the way, I'll just do the reminder now that I'm talking about it. Which gave him a 1-month Discord, but he's already in Discord, so he told me to give it away to one of you guys. So instead of giving away an Apex account, we're going to give away the 1-month Discord instead. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to do the random number generator and everything. So let me get that started. But yeah, one more reminder. This code is good for like 1 more week. If you guys want to get added, it's 10% off. If you guys purchase the annual plan, just send me an email. I'll get you added to Discord. I know a couple of you guys have emailed me. I'm going to get to you guys pretty soon. I try to do them all at one time. Makes it a lot easier. If you guys purchase the lifetime, you get 3 months Discord. So just send me an email with your receipts that you use the code, and I will respond back to you. The other reminder is it is the last day for the raffle. So be sure to send me any accounts that you purchase in June using code BREW. I believe it's still 90% off. So if you buy them today, be sure to send them today if you can. Tomorrow is like the latest, because I will be pulling those raffle winners starting probably Thursday. And then as always, we'll pull some Discord access winners and some tutoring access as well. Just make sure I can see the account size, the day you purchased it, and the invoice number. Let me go ahead and get that giveaway going. If you guys can press that like button, that will help a lot. I appreciate that. Try to get it above 100 if you can. Let me get that random number generator going here. What's funny about the Scott thing is I think the person who won the laptop was also Scott. I guess you all just need to change your names to Scott. You have better luck. Okay, if you guys have not participated in a giveaway here, we do it really easy. You just pick a number between 1 and 50. Just pick one number. Do not spam a bunch of numbers. Don't change your number. Just pick one number. Really simple. 1 through 50. Press that live button. Make sure you do not have a large delay. Make sure you're up to date within like 10 seconds. You can see my clock over here. That is Eastern time. Just make sure you're within 10 seconds. That's usually the normal delay, like 5 to 10 seconds. You also won 3 months Discord. Your name is Scott. It's hilarious. Yeah, like I said, I guess you all just have to change your name. I think it's by far the most common name in stream. Yeah, pick a number between 1 and 50. If I pull your number, let me know in chat. I'll double check. If you change your number, if you type more than one number, you're disqualified. Have your email ready. How it's going to work is I'm going to verify you pick the number. I'm going to post my email. You're going to send me an email from your side. I'm going to send you a random number. Type that random number in chat. That's how I verify it's you. That's just the fastest way I can verify. I'll give you guys another minute. By the way, this is not for an Apex account this time. This is for Discord. If you guys are already Discord members, I will just extend your access, but most likely somebody will win that's not a member. We'll see. Okay, press that live button, have your email ready. I'm going to go ahead and pull it here in like 10 seconds. All right, good luck, guys. The last number I see is Lulu. And it was Lulu. What are the odds? That was pretty funny. Lulu, you are the last number, and you got it. Let me see if there's anybody else. I don't see anybody else. I think it's just you, Lulu. That's like the fourth time it's happened. I don't think so. I think it's happened with the first number, not the last number. It's happened with the first number a couple of times. The last number, people are usually trying to put it in after I press the button. That's why I always say this is the last person I see. So anybody who puts it in after that, they're just trying to cheat or they're delayed. Hey, Lulu, congrats. Let me double check there's nobody else. I think it's just you. It is just you. You are good. Okay, here is my email. So, Lulu, send me an email with your YouTube name, and I will send you a random number. Just confirm that random number in chat, and then you are good to go. After that, I'm going to ask you for your TradingView username and your Discord username. TradingView is obviously for the indicators, and then Discord is obviously for Discord, right? Yeah, thank you once again, Scott. If you're here, I appreciate that. Yeah, is Lulu's real name Scott? Let me know when you send the email. I'll double check. Yeah, if you guys did not win, like I said, today is the last day. Send me those receipts. If you used our code in June, you still have a chance to win Discord access with our June raffle. We do a raffle every single month. So be sure to send me, not to that email, by the way, not the giveaway one. Here is the email for the raffle tickets. Any Apex accounts you purchased in June, send them my way. I will confirm you used the code, and then you are good to go. I typically pull around like 3 winners. I see you, Lulu. I'm going to send you a number. Just confirm that number in chat for me. I see you, Lulu. Yeah, so Lulu, I'm going to get your, or if you want to just email me now, just email me your TradingView username, not like your email, like your actual username that it shows on your profile, and then your Discord username. But all right, guys, on that note, I appreciate you guys being here. I will be streaming in Discord for the rest of the day. If you guys are not in Discord, I will catch you guys tomorrow. Just one quick update on the trade plan. We have hit our first targets already. We are very close to hitting our second target, 560. If it breaks that, the extended target is around 600. On NASDAQ, we are very close to our second target at 510. If it breaks that, we're looking for 737. So this started out as a micro pullback. We are very obviously not a micro pullback anymore. We are using that bullish bias and pushing up. We had that bullish bias of yesterday with that POC closing on the high. And this is what we were talking about, by the way, with the breakaway from that rollover gap. We've been stuck to that level for so long. When you break away from levels like that, you need to see a pretty aggressive move that finds higher value like right away and also starts to squeeze out a lot of delta. Now, I will say we are not really seeing that delta squeeze. So it's a little bit worrying that this move is not getting that delta on the buy side because you're not pushing. Easier way to say it is the sellers are not capitulating. The sellers are not giving up as much. So we still have a chance to be pulled back to that pen level with the close of the month, close of the quarter, etc. Right. So that's the one worrying thing. You're not seeing that delta squeeze. So be careful on that. We could see a possible pullback later today, maybe later this week. But all right, guys, I'll see you in Discord. If you're not there, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace, everybody.